President Bola Tinubu appoints 8 new permanent secretaries. Presidential Enabling Business Environment Council presents 90-day regulatory reform accelerator action plan designed to improve Nigeria's business environment. Presidential Committee on Cholera Control holds inaugural meeting. Hello and welcome to the news at 11 on NTA News24. We are live in Abuja, and thanks for joining us. I'm Zenret Dingmo. President Bola Tinubu has approved the appointment of 8 new federal permanent secretaries to fill in existing and impending vacancies of some states and geopolitical zones in the top administrative cadre of the civil service of the Federation. The new federal permanent secretary is appointed after a diligent selection process by the Office of the Head of the Civil Service of the Federation are Dr. Emanso Umobong Okop Akwa Ibom, Obi Emeka Vitalis Anambra, Mahmoud Fatima Sugra Tabia Bauchi, Danjuma Mohammed Sanusi Jigawa, Olusanyo Olubumi Ondo, Dr. Keshinro Mariam Ismaila Zamfara, Akujobi Chinyere Ijoma, South East, Isopunwu Christopher Osaru Wamwen, South South. The President anticipates that the new federal permanent secretaries will exercise absolute dedication, diligence and fidelity to the nation in the discharge of their functions and ensure optimum service delivery to the Nigerian people. The Presidential Enabling Business Environment Council has presented its 90-day regulatory reform accelerator action plan aimed at improving Nigeria's business environment. Vice President Kashim Shettima at the event restated commitment to deliver the dual mandate of bureaucratic and legislative constraints on ease of doing business in Nigeria. State House correspondent Abdurrahman Jibrila reports.
These 8 indicators are listed on here, and I will just quickly speak to them very briefly.
The target of these stakeholders is reforming Nigeria's business environment through facilitation of National Single Window Project, tracking of efficiency reforms, and delivering measurable growth in productivity, among other initiatives.
Our collective aspiration is that the reforms, along with the insight and learning from this regulatory reform accelerator, will drive measurable impact for productivity and competitiveness across key sectors to improve the Nigerian business environment and support the economic initiatives of the government.
So after the past 120 days, after a slow start, we're glad to see that indeed out of 1,187 activities across 36 agencies spanning 14 ministries, 876 of them were successfully completed. So we commend the MDAs for the hard work.
Since inception in July 2016, over 180 verifiable business reforms have been implemented through stakeholders' engagement. And the federal government is saying despite the achievements recorded, more needs to be done.
That our public sector reforms have achieved a collective score of over 80% at the beginning of the 90-day regulatory reform accelerator. The regulatory reform accelerator is an avenue to inject life into our economy and renew the hope of our nation. The quality of your ideas and the intensity of your energy today are the very sparks we need to stay on track and to always remind ourselves of the burden of expectations upon us. As we reflect on the measurable outcomes of the regulatory reform accelerator, I urge all stakeholders, particularly the MDS, to build on the gains of the past 120 days with a sense of urgency and purpose.
The Presidential Enabling Business Environment Council is working directly and actively with 53 ministries, departments and agencies, and what is expected is more action for greater economic outcomes. In Abuja, Abraham Jibrila, NTA News.
Cabinet Committee on the Control of Cholera Epidemic in Nigeria wants government at the subnationals and health authorities to develop strong public health systems that can accurately track the spread of infectious diseases, especially the current cholera outbreak. Oluseyi Adeagbo reports that the inaugural meeting is in response to President Bola Tinubu's directive to the Federal Executive Council to set up a committee to oversee the Cholera Emergency Operations Center coordinated by the National Center for Disease Control, NCDC.
The Nigeria Center for Disease Control and Prevention, NCDC current statistics, puts the number of suspected cholera cases at 1,528 with 53 deaths across 31 states in 107 local government areas. What is some statistics there? The Federal Executive Council last meeting on 25th June 2024 constituted a cabinet committee on the control of cholera outbreak in Nigeria, with the coordinating Minister of Health and Social Welfare, Muhammad Ali Pate, as the chairman, and membership cutting across relevant ministries, with the mandate to bring to an end the spread of cholera ravaging the country. The Nigerian CDC briefed the committee on the outbreak during the extensive deliberations under closed doors.
And President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, in his wisdom, set up early this week in the cabinet a subcommittee to look at it, to accelerate Nigeria's efforts to contain the outbreak in a multi-sectoral way, to think together as to what do we do immediately to help numb this outbreak so that it doesn't get out of hand, and also begin to lay the foundation for preventing such occurrences of infectious disease outbreaks.
Being a waterborne disease, Nigerians are advised to take precautions.
It's important that everyone pays attention to sanitation, wash your hands, avoid contamination of water with fecal materials, and be sure you know the source of water that you drink.
The issue of the open defecation in our community is also a challenge. It's one of the causative agents of this waterborne disease, cholera. And we are campaigning that state governors, local government chieftains will also take this advocacy to their immediate campaigns. The Mr. President has constituted a committee which will have sat to deliberate on the immediate, the medium and long-term methods of curbing the challenge of not only cholera but waterborne challenges in the country.
They assured that the presidential directive will be enthusiastically executed. In Abuja, Oluseyi Adeagbo, NTA News.
Now, sequel to the briefing of February 15, 2024, on the plan to move from physical verification exercise to electronic verification for military retirees, the Chairman Military Pensions Board, AVM Paul Erum-Hessen, at a media briefing revealed that out of the 2,000 pensioners that took part in the exercise, only 15 persons failed. The chairman, who officially declared open the Military Pension Board electronic verification exercise for all retired pensioners, says the window is for a period of 3 months from 1st July to 30th September 2024.
Minister of State for Defense and the Chief of Defense Staff have approved the commencement of the electronic verification exercise for our esteemed veterans. The board will carry out sufficient public awareness and education that we assist our pensioners to carry out this verification.
Since welfare is essential to the resilience of the military community, the chairman advises military pensioners to take active part in this exercise, as those who fail to take part will not get their pensions going forward. The 6th Division's inter-brigade competition for warrant officers and senior non-commissioned officers has ended in Uyo, Akwa Ibom State, with a call on officers to exhibit high values of discipline, perseverance and dedication to duty. The event had 2 brigades Nigerian Army emerging tops at the end of the competition. Evelyn Badu-Ekbo reports.
These gallant officers showcased their mastery in drills, combat swimming, weapon handling, map reading and crossing obstacles. Special guest of honor and initiator of the competition in the Nigerian Army, Major General Godwin Umor, retired, who describes the event as nostalgic, commends the gallantry display of adaptability of the officers during the competition.
Operational mobility in order to effectively engage adversaries with force and precision in line with the Chief of Army Staff Command philosophy, which states, and I quote, to transform the Nigerian Army into a well-trained, well-equipped, and highly motivated force towards achieving our constitutional responsibilities within a joint environment.
Our senior and senior warrant officers, such that they are operationally ready. And then it will also give us the privilege of knowing their high points as well as their low points.
The event builds morale by encouraging friendly rivalry and sense of accomplishment, aimed at boosting physical fitness, tactical knowledge and leadership skills among troops. 2 brigade emerged tops with a total of 460 points. 63 brigade runners-up, while 16 brigade and 6 div garrison emerged 3rd and 4th positions respectively. The inter-brigade competition, which started in 2007, seeks to reinforce discipline and readiness among officers. From Wellington Basi Barracks, Ibawa, Evelyn Badu-Ekbo, NTA News.
This is the news at 11 on NTA News 24. More reports after this break. Stay tuned.
From the creeks of the Niger Delta to the breathtaking scenery of the plateau, in noonday and nighttime, we set out to bring to you captivating stories that evoke your emotions. For fascinating documentaries and reports on day-to-day issues with expert analysis, tune in to NTA News24, DSTV Channel 419, GoTV Channel 26, StarTimes Channel 101 and 433, and Free TV Channel 703.
Thanks for staying with us on the news. Now, there is a renewed and collective commitment by key players to take responsibility for their health and environment through proper waste management and regular sanitation. This is just as the Federal Ministry of Environment engages Chika community on the 2024 National Environmental Sanitation Day. Charles Alpha reports.
In 2005, former President Olusegun Obasanjo declared June 28 every year as the National Environmental Sanitation Day, with the Federal Ministry of Environment in collaboration with stakeholders using the day as a platform to highlight the importance of sanitation and hygiene as a veritable tool for disease prevention and control.
Effective environmental sanitation and hygiene are thus crucial as they affect public health, ecosystem balance, and our well-being.
The Federal Ministry of Environment and its health officers, the World Health Organization, and other partners converge on Chika, another community in the FCT, to further consolidate on this mandate, with school children again at the center of the celebration. There, the Minister of State for Environment, Isiaq Salako, presented sanitation equipment to the Chika traditional ruler, followed by practical demonstration of the application and treatment of water with chlorine to prevent cholera, as well as planting of trees to mark the day.
But the fact of the matter is that until we have good sanitation in our environment, we will continue to grapple with a lot of diseases.
Chika village commitment to proper waste management and tree planting practices.
The theme for this year's National Environmental Sanitation Day is Go Greener, Stay Clean, Climate Change is Real. Charles Alpha, NTA News.
President Bola Tinubu congratulates Deputy Secretary General of the United Nations, Amina Mohammed, on her 63rd birthday. The President extols Ms. Mohammed, whom he describes as a leading advocate of the environment, education, and the sustainable development goals, who has applied herself in many capacities to the service of Nigeria and the global community. She coordinated the Task Force on Gender and Education for the United Nations Millennium Project from 2002 to 2005 and has served meritoriously on numerous international advisory boards and panels. She was Nigeria's Minister of Environment from 2015 to 2017 and is credited for mobilizing all government and non-government oil and gas stakeholders to achieve the launch of the Ogoni land cleanup, among several other governance innovations. The President commends the Deputy UN Secretary General for her tireless service to the nation and describes her as a fine example of Nigerian excellence and a worthy model for both men and women globally. President Tinubu wishes Amina Mohammed many more years in fine health and renewed strength in her continued service to humanity. Now, former Commissioner of Finance in Benue State, David Olofu, has unveiled an education support system to address some of the challenges being faced by Idoma students in tertiary institutions across the 9 local government areas of Benue State. Olofu emphasized that the initiative is to support the President Bola Tinubu administration in its desire to provide relief to students of the state.
And we felt that going forward, if we have a fund like this, it will be an intervention to support our brothers and sisters who are going through what I went through back then in the university and help them to scale through the hurdle of higher education. So today, by the grace of God, we are using what has been contributed by my colleagues, friends, and associates to set up an education support fund under the umbrella of our PA Legacy Sustainability Initiative.
The sum of 50 million naira has been set aside for the education funds, and this is expected to be disbursed based on those who are qualified. It will run for a period of 5 years, and 10 million naira will be required to be disbursed every year to benefiting students.
Window of about 50 million with an initial inflow of about 20 million and a projection of 10 million per year to reach out to all the students that will qualify for this intervention.
Now, the Federal Road Safety Corps says it recorded a notable 51% reduction in road traffic crashes during the recently concluded Eid al-Kabir celebrations. Corps Marshal Shehu Mohammed shared this update while also highlighting the Corps' proactive measures and increased patrols over the festive period. Oyeyemi Ajayi reports.
For the Corps Marshal Federal Road Safety Corps, Shehu Mohammed, the Eid al-Kabir Special Patrol was the first litmus test for him to prove his capacity as all eyes gazed at him. The results are speaking as the corps records 39% reduction in deaths from the road traffic crashes compared to last year, aside 38% reduction in number of people involved in crashes and 35% reduction in people injured during the period under review. The commercial reveals that series of measures contributed to this success, which includes prompt response of officers on the field, aside enlightenment and prosecution of errant drivers through mobile calls.
We have resolved to continue to bridge the gap so that together we crash the crashes on the nation highway. We believe that our process shouldn't be the end, but the beginning. We intend to put more effort on the content so that when we get the content, we get the outcome. When we get the outcome, we get the solutions.
The corps plans to consolidate on the gains made so far to ensure further achievements, while revealing into soon commence withdrawal of driver's licenses from recalcitrant traffic offenders. Oyeyemi Ajayi, NTA News.
Commercial activities have been grounded at Karu Market following the fire outbreak on Thursday night. Serafina Okon-Umekwe reports that shop owners at the scene are shocked at the devastation and complete razing of the old section of the market, as well as the loss of their properties and means of livelihood.
As traders continue to count their losses, the firefighters are also not relenting to putting an end to the fire in the market. These are the areas they could not have access to last night. They are making serious efforts to get to that location to completely put off the fire. As at the time we came this morning, we saw some parts still burning.
They locked the gate, people have been crying, begging. When the fire never reached far, we are still complaining. Open gate, let people up until the fire take over. Now we use strength to open the gate.
They say nobody knows where can the fire betting. But they say people they don't allow person enter the gate, enter the DC. If they allow person enter, all this will not happen.
And some of them we have supplied one to them individually, and this thing got burned more than 50 million naira. And with those people that will give small loan and the rest.
Blames and counter-accusations on the part of the traders against AMAC, the market engineers, for contravening the master plan of the market and erecting structures.
It's not that we don't have original paper, we have. They say because the plan was tampered, that they want to put a new structure that will not be tampered. When they finish this structure, they now tamper the structure again by blocking the whole access road. Those buildings that you see in the front there, we are not there. It's not in plan of the FCDA.
The tragic incident consumed about 300 shops. To this end, the senator representing AMAC, Ireti Kingibe, was among the early sympathizers who has assured the people that their demands will be looked into.
You have to be kind to each other, you have to be law-abiding, you have to have compassion for each other.
I've been instructed now, as I'm living here now, I'm going to mark some designation for demolition, for access road into the local market.
Looking at the nature of the structure, they call for backups. From Asokoro, Federal Fire, Julius Berger, all were mobilized, including FEMA. We were all mobilized to the scene of the fire.
The fire happened around the shanty areas and did not affect the newly built shops in the market. Meanwhile, the market leadership has said compensations will duly be accorded. Serafina Okon-Umekwe, NTA News.
Now, President Bola Tinubu has received the news of the fire incident which affected sections of the Karu market in the Federal Capital Territory with deep sadness. President Tinubu extends his heartfelt sympathies to all the traders affected by this distressing incident and assures them of his administration's full support. The President urges caution and adherence to essential safety measures to prevent fire outbreaks and other accidents. And that's it on the news tonight. Thanks for watching. I'm Zenret Dingmon.